You know what she did? She ran to the man of God. Pushed everything out of her way. She went through obstacles. She went through Gehazi, his servant. He was trying to withhold her, trying to step her off and push her back. But she pushed past him, got to the feet of Elisha. And Elisha said, let her alone, because her soul is vexed within her, and the Lord has hidden it from me. Agatha Christie has a famous quote. A mother's love for her child is like nothing else in the world. It knows no laws. It knows no pity. It does all things. It dares all things and crushes down all things remorselessly that stand in the path of that love. You know what she said in verse 28 that I want to point out to you women and you mothers and you wives today? She got to the man of God and she put her arms around his legs and his feet. She was in a position that she would do anything for her child. She would do anything to get him back, because she reminded the man of God of something that children and mothers only understand, because mothers go through some of the greatest pain to give birth to us. They go to the point of the valley of the shadow of death, and they go to that brink of that place, and they can seemingly pass. A lot of women have passed in childbirth, giving birth to their children. You find instances of this in Scripture. But women can endure pain way much more than most men can. And men are stronger, and men are bigger, and men are more physically capable. But there's something in the heart of a woman that when she goes through that pain, the identity, the purpose, the value that comes to her when she gives birth to that child is beyond anything that a man can ever understand. And she says in verse 28, she says to the man of God with her arms wrapped around his legs, she says, I desire. She said to him, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I ask you for a son? Did I bring a desire for a son? Did I present that to you? She said, did not I say, do not deceive me? She didn't ask for a child. She didn't even say she wanted a son. But the greatest power of all, when God decided to give her a son through the word of the prophetic power of Elisha, that something got a hold of her that really digs in and grips and puts full strength of purpose into the life of every mother. And that is the word called motherhood. It changed her. It caused her to carry him when he was cut down, when his life was stressed and his life was cut short. It caused her to have meaning and purpose with God. She went to the man of God to prepare him with an encounter with the man of God. She wanted to have an encounter. She wanted to have an intervention, because motherhood had taken her from the place that she never knew she could go. And that was a place that she would do anything to protect her children, to care for her children, and to nurture her family. Ultimately, in death, what should have been a productive season in the child's life, when she got to him, the man of God spared no time. He spared no. He said, when you go, Gehazi, here's my staff. Don't you salute anybody. Don't you talk to nobody. Don't you let nothing delay you. Don't you let nothing keep you. I want you to take my staff, and I want you to get to the Shunammite woman's house, and I want you to lay my staff on the body of that child. When Elisha got there, he went up to where the child lay. It's powerful. And then the Bible said he climbed up into that bed and stretched himself over the body of the child. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of men of God that want to make themselves fat today. They want to be rich and increase with goods, and they want to have a bed of ease and a bed of ivory. And some have even seemingly fell into love with the things of mammon and the things of the works of the flesh and the works of the world and all the things that money has to offer. And the Bible tells us not to be in love with filthy lucre when we're preaching the gospel. But this man of God said this woman cared for us. This woman made room for us in her house. She made room for the prophet of God. She perceived that he was